Delmarva Today with Don Rush.
The alleged assault on a gay man by 12 Salisbury University fraternity members rocks a community. A racial incident has hit the campus of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. We explore how Yiddish changed to cope with the unlivable times known as the Holocaust. Welcome to Delmarva Today. This is Don Rush. In our studio this afternoon is Coastal Point reporter Susan Ganfor. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Don.
So first of all, we had a vigil on the campus of Salisbury University to mark the incident involving that alleged attack on a gay man by members of that fraternity. What do we know so far?
Well, the Salisbury University community had that vigil and unity walk on Monday, and that was in the wake of a 40-year-old man who was lured into a university apartment and beaten last week. 12 students involved have all been suspended and are being charged by the Wicomico County State's Attorney's Office. The vigil and walk was organized by the Lambda Society and two attorneys representing some of the university's students. One of those attorneys, Attorney James Britt, who is representing Zachary Lineman of the 12 students arrested, made a statement saying the assault had less to do with sexual orientation and more to do with anger about a grown man soliciting a child for sex, but in Maryland, the age of consent is 16. The students are all associated with a campus fraternity. They were all charged with first-degree assault and related charges after the man entered the apartment at University Terrace under the pretense that he was meeting someone he met on a gay dating site, and that's according to Salisbury police. He was forced to sit in the middle of a room while a large group surrounded him, struck and spit on him, and called him names. The victim suffered a broken rib and bruises, according to Salisbury police, and police said all of the men ranging in age from 18 to 20 were arrested and charged with first-degree assault, false imprisonment, reckless endangerment, and associated hate crimes. Salisbury University President Carolyn Ringer-Laprie said acts of violence against those in the LGBTQ plus community are at odds with the values Salisbury University upholds. Jason Rhodes, who handles public relations at SU, said hate has absolutely no place at Salisbury University, and they are taking matters as far as they can. Police are asking anyone with information to call them as the investigation continues.
And in Ocean City, on a lighter note, it looks like the famous trams that used to move up and down the boardwalk are not likely to come back anytime soon. What's going on with that?
There's a good chance they won't be. Good chance the familiar trams that carry tired vacationers up and down the boardwalk won't be running next summer. So people who are walking back to their hotels have to walk or take the city bus. They won't be running in 2025 because they were discontinued in August after an accident that killed a 2-year-old boy who was trying to run across the boardwalk to his mother, who was on the other side of the boardwalk. Ocean City Manager Terry McGeehan has told local news agencies that town officials have received notice about a possible lawsuit. He said he couldn't provide details about the lawsuit. All he could say was that trams most likely will be absent from the boardwalk next year. And they won't be at the popular Winterfest of Lights this year either. McGeehan said a number of issues are coming up as we move into the investigation that we think is going to take some time for us to address what we need to do. He called the trams an amenity. He said that's all the trams ever were, so the town is playing it safe. He said it's something we want to be able to keep going, but let's be clear, it's not required, a required form of public transportation. It was a sightseeing ride.
Also, we have the Purdue agribusiness. They've announced that they're expanding the test of those PFAS chemicals that were found in the groundwater around its Salisbury plant.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that in recent weeks, that the Purdue Farms is testing for elevated levels of polyfluoroalkyl, known as PFAS, after it was detected in groundwater near Zion, Parker, and Old Ocean City roads. Purdue Agribusiness announced it would test water for infiltration of the chemical known as PFAS. Now the company is announcing that area to be tested will be expanded. In October, Purdue representatives said testing at the facility on Zion Church Road revealed elevated levels of PFAS in the groundwater. Letters were sent to 550 homes nearby, offering to not only test their water, but to provide them with bottled water while the testing was going on. Now that testing has been expanding farther west of Purdue. Purdue is paying for the testing. It's being done in cooperation with the Maryland Department of Environment and Wicomico County Department of Health. Purdue has said all along the company is committed to conducting a thorough investigation and being good neighbors. PFAS is a group of man-made chemicals that some companies like because they resist heat, grease, and water. It is found in non-stick pots and pans and the foam that firefighters use to put out fires. It's a synthetic chemical, and it's been around since the 1950s, but if it gets into your system, it can cause some problems. It's been linked to cancer, developmental issues, and weakened immune systems. That's all according to the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences. Purdue sent out explanatory letters to residents in that area, and the Vice President of Environmental Sustainability at Purdue, Drew Getty, said the source is not known, more information is needed, and testing will continue.
Then here in Salisbury, we had some union members that came out for better working conditions. The Eastern Correction Institution apparently cited some stressful working conditions, often long hours, and often having to take second jobs. What do we know so far about their complaints?
Staff at Eastern Correctional Institution in Somerset County want more money, more staff to work with them, and better working conditions. They said there are shortages of staff, and that's making it dangerous for them to do their jobs. Some correctional officers end up working 80-hour weeks. They have the strong support of the well-known union, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Eastern Correctional Employees, along with employees from Deer Heads Hospital and Eastern Shore Hospital Center, are all asking Governor Wes Moore and lawmakers to help them. A representative from prisons in Western Maryland was there, too, talking about a stabbing incident that injured correctional officers and prompting an ECI employee to say he's just praying that something like that doesn't happen here. These employees are saying working conditions at the jail are only getting worse, and overtime is sometimes forced on them. Their concerns have not gone unnoticed by Governor Moore. His office released a statement saying there are efforts to address the situation, and employee vacancies dropped by more than 20% since he took office. And other improvements have been made, but the union leaders said even so, they want less paperwork, fewer hollow plans, and more action. That union represents 7,000 employees on the Eastern Shore and 45,000 employees throughout the state of Maryland.
And finally, Winterfest, as you mentioned a moment ago, is just around the corner. Is it bigger, better than ever? Although I guess we got a tram issue, right?
No tram this year, but it is bigger and better than ever. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of lights and so many people and kids and hot chocolate and Santa Claus. It's really a nice event. Winterfest of Lights. It's Ocean City's most popular annual light festival. Will be at Northside Park on 125th Street in Ocean City, starting Thursday, November 21st, and continuing until New Year's Eve, from 5:30 to 9:30, Wednesdays through Sundays until December 22nd, and then it will be open every day, December 23rd through New Year's Eve. But no trams going through the park this year. Guests will walk through the Wonderland and explore 58 acres of lights and designs and decorations and trees at the park. If you have difficulty walking, you can rent a mobility device for $10 for 2 hours. And on Wednesday evenings, you can even take your pets. Admission is $6 for adults and 12 years and older, free. And it looks like a lot of fun.
Well, we've been speaking with Coastal Point reporter Susan Canfor. Appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us.
Thank you, Don.
You're listening to Delmarva Today. This is Don Rush.
Delmarva Today with Don Rush.